It's a beautiful day, about to go to my favorite place. You know, I decided to do this video on the beach today because, again, this is like my favorite place to be. The salty air, the fresh air just feels really good. The sun in my face, I'm trying to be able to look at you right now. It's a little bright, but you know, this is such a beautiful place to be. Orange County, Southern California, it's absolutely beautiful. This is why people pay big bucks to be down here. This is why I have, you know, grinded day in and day out for over a year to be down here, to feel this right here, because this right here, it's worth it. I mean, it just feels amazing out here. Why I've been in non-stop relationships back to back to back to back to back. The last 3 back to back to back. And I told myself, I was like, hey, look, you know what you're looking for. You know what you want. You know who you are. So find a man that you can vibe with, because at the end of the day, I want to be taken care of emotionally. I want somebody who's going to take care of me. Being the type of woman that I am, I know I can take care of myself financially. I know I got that, but I want to have that experience of having a man take care of me emotionally, supporting me, pushing me, you know, taking care of me financially too. I want to have a family someday. This isn't the end all be all for me, but it's something that is very important to me. But I figured out why I did not have that fulfillment in these relationships, and why they weren't successful. One, they weren't my people. They weren't, when I say they, the last 3, they weren't the men that God created for me to be with. They weren't that one. 2, it goes back to my childhood. And Dad, I know if you ever watch this is, I want to tell you that you did the best you could with what you knew, but this is the realization that I had, and I want you to know that I love you very, very much. But growing up between 2 brothers, I was always looked at as the 3rd son. I wasn't taken care of emotionally as a female, as a lady, as somebody who needed nurturing, who needed that guidance for the closest men in her life, her brothers, her dad, to show her how a man should treat her. So I was always trying to fill that void. And I was never treated like a lady. I was just treated like one of the boys, one of the homies. And up until now, that's how I've acted. That's how my best friend Chris told me that, hey, I don't want to date a dude. I want to date a lady. And that really hit home for me. Like, why do I act like this? How has this been okay? Not saying there's anything wrong with it. I love that part about me, but it's been very hard for me to access my femininity up until now. And I didn't understand why until I took a hard look, and I was like, wow, like the emotional connection from a father to a daughter, from brothers to a sister, it wasn't there. Very emotionally disconnected, which has led me to just stuff that away. I never had like any strong feminine influence in my life. It's like my family, my parents did the best they could with what they had, you know, like with what they knew. And I love them very much. My parents are still together. They still love each other. The epitome of doing what it takes, unconditional love. And a lot of my friends, a lot of people in my life can't say that. So I'm very grateful for them in that regard. And having this realization that I was trying to fill a void with other men from what I didn't get in my childhood was huge. But now that I know that, now that I truly understand what my value is, because I know I'm valuable, it's now I get to date myself. So what the heck does it mean to date yourself? What does that mean? It means I get to take myself out on dates. Duh. I'm here at the beach by myself, a day date with myself. I get to buy flowers for myself, take myself to the movies, go shopping every once in a while, buy a new outfit, look cute, dress up, do stuff that I would like to do with another person, but really get to know myself and take that quiet time for myself. I know at the end of the day, it sounds kind of weird and people are going to be like, what is she doing? Sometimes I think the same thing, but it doesn't matter what other people think, because I want to be good with me. I want to know who I am, know what I want. And since I've had this realization, my fire has just been out of control, spreading like wildfire. And what I mean by that is just businesses, other relationships, how I'm able to open up and connect intimately and vulnerably with the people in my life that I care about means everything to me. And then I get to connect with me on those levels too. Might be kind of scary, but at the end of the day, I'm ready for it. And that's something that's super important for you to do before you share your life with anybody else. Here it is. Before you could be with anyone else, you need to be 100 with yourself. You need to know exactly what you want and have that clarity in your life of where you're going, what's next for you, and who you are and the value that you bring before you can truly be with anyone else. Because otherwise you're gonna find or try to find those answers in other people, and they're not gonna be able to give them to you because you're not at peace with yourself. Find that for yourself. Date yourself before you date anybody else. Because when you're whole and complete, you're able to give that part of you to them, so it makes you just a power couple. You hear it all the time. Two broken people getting together is only going to lead to more brokenness. So I'm going to leave you with this. I wouldn't trade my dating experience that I've had with these men for anything. Why? Because I went for it. And the last 3, I learned so much about myself that I cannot get that experience anywhere else. And what I get to do now is share that experience with women who are scared to date, women who are locked into relationships, not just women, men too. Men, you have a lot on your plate. You have a lot of pressure, and women take that for granted. They really do. Being the provider, being the rock, everything. But women, we get to share in that as well. So we get to appreciate and love our men. Men, you get to appreciate and love your woman for who she is. Don't try to turn them into somebody they're not. Meet them where they're at. And if there's somebody that you're like, we'll get there. You know, they're almost there, about 90%. It's likely not meant to be. Only you can answer that question. But when you're praying and you're asking the Lord, like, you know what, Lord, give me the desires of my heart. Give me that woman or that man that I want to be with and I want to share this life with. And that person walks into your life, you will know, boom, that's her, that's him. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't trade my experiences for anything because I've learned so much and I have so much value to give, and I know that, and that's part of the reason why I created this channel. In order to live life, you got to go experience life. You got to experience things, and they may not all be successful, but I looked at these relationships that didn't work out as a success because I learned something. You can look at it as a failure, another one that didn't work out. I look at it as I learned so much about myself and who it is that I want to be. So when that right person does come along, I'll know and I'll be ready. But right now, I get to date myself and go on dates with myself in places like this. And I'm happy, truly happy about that. Oh my gosh, it's so cold. It's so cold, but it's so beautiful. But it's freezing. It's absolutely freezing.